fast. Okay, so we're going some agenda safety, trail etiquette, maps, and clubs. And this high-level stuff. And this is a very easy conversation. If you guys have some questions, feel free to just ask me right in the middle of it, because there might be some confusing stuff here. Some of you guys might be total veterans and say, I don't want to hear this anymore, well then have another beer. And some of you guys have some questions, all right? Feel free to ask them, because I want to make sure you get out there and you...
What's safety?
Do everything you don't do.
That's why.
Don't do it Joshy Dumb does here. Okay. So safety we're talking about here. Helmets and goggles and gloves, okay? And again, yeah, you should wear a helmet. Should I wear a helmet in a fully cabbed-in Ranger North Star, people say? You don't have to legally do anything. You don't have to put a mask on. You don't have to put your seatbelt on. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Should you? Yes, you should. And I've been in enough situations where it's not your fault that you bonk your melon, it's someone else clips you. And I tell you right now, it's the roll cage hits pretty hard. You think you have that safe feeling? But even today, I still wear a helmet in a fully cabbed-in Ranger North Star crew like we have up at the cottage. It's like, throw that half helmet on when I'm going down to pick up some milk at the grocery store because it's fun to do, but I never know when I'm going to get clipped, and you are not that safe. I always wear a helmet in my Razor. I have a Razor 4-seat, and my kid has a helmet, and my wife, we all wear our helmets. And it is that fact that you feel comfortable and safe in that ROPS, the rollover protection system. But something happens, or you get a little bit of that speed adrenaline, those beer muscles start flexing in the afternoon, and you say I'm just going to take an easy ride, and then an easy ride doesn't become an easy ride. Some of the things you should look for in a helmet, I love having a full chin bar. All right, because something happens, you get whopped around there. Goggles are a necessary thing because of the dust coming in, but get yourself a good setup. If you look at one of the machines we have up front there, I've actually graduated to a full pumper system. All right, I found out if you have a nice helmet, you wear it more, because I say, man, it's 100 degrees, I don't want to wear my helmet. Okay, cool, that's not protecting me at all. So we have a new thing that we stock, and I'm not here to sell you a bunch of spiel stuff here. I actually use this stuff. But it's a pumper system that blows fresh air in to the helmet that keeps the dust out, and I can keep my helmet on with the full face shield down. So that's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, it's an investment, but you're spending money on this. What I found is if you buy nice stuff, you use it more. Right?
You spend the money twice.
You don't spend the money twice, right? And I've been a 20-year-old that I wanted to spend all my money on good beer and crappy equipment, and I said, oh, that didn't work out right there, all right? Because then I ended up buying another helmet later, and I just told you, that helmet right there is my helmet that I had, and then I was like, oh, this thing sucks. So I bought another helmet, and I have a $150 helmet that I don't even wear anymore, all right? So I would strongly just suggest in buying a good helmet that's got good moisture-wicking material in here. Don't just go buy the cheapest thing we have, or go to a Fleet Farm and buy a cheap helmet to say I'm safe, because you're going to find yourself not liking it, and then you don't wear it, and then you just say, I'll leave it home, and then you go ride without your helmet on. And I've been in situations, I've been on the trail myself and come across people who've been knocked out, all right? They don't have their helmet on, they didn't have their helmet strap, whatever happened there, and they bonked their melon on the roll cage. The roll cage is what's there to save them, but it's also right there. So I would strongly suggest, and I can't, it's shocking how many people don't wear a helmet. And that's cool, I don't care. But I also would strongly suggest doing so because of the fact that you don't know who's coming around the corner at you. And I've had enough close calls where I've been the guy who's coming a little too fast around the corner. I was like, ooh, I'm glad I was being attentive right there, because I couldn't imagine hitting that old grandma who was driving her four-wheeler without her helmet on, right? All right, because she's out having fun, right? And so again, this is something you don't know, you don't expect, all right? And gloves, all right? So yeah, wear gloves, right? I'm not even telling you need to wear gloves, but I found that a good pair of gloves is awesome for when you're using a vehicle such as the Razor behind you here. Something that doesn't have a full cab on it, because you find that grip gets in even the steering wheel. All right, so I have a strong sense that what I want you to do is have good equipment so you use it more and get out and stay in our industry longer, all right? This is a long-term thing for me to teach you guys how to really enjoy this sport, right? So helmets, goggles, gloves. And I ask you, do have some sales? We're here to sell stuff. If you want to buy it, it's up front. That wasn't a joke. We'll buy some stuff. All right, seatbelts. So seatbelts are, in every UTV, they have a seatbelt. You legally need to wear your seatbelt if you do not know that. Yes, you can put your seatbelt behind you and the machine will go as fast as it does go forward. That is not legal, all right? It's not safe, but it's not legal as well. And I want to make sure you know that if you're riding, and the more this industry grows, the more they're going to get more enforcement on the industry. I know Merrimack County has 2 recreation officers. They're awesome. All right, they're not here to be a-holes and tell you what you can't do. They're looking out for us also, all right? But they added a second recreation officer just because the growth in the industry, making sure that we're following expectations. Yes, seatbelts suck. I am old enough to remember when you didn't have to wear your seatbelt and I was bouncing around the back of Dad's cab in his F-150 saying, yeah, and my dad would try to grab me and swing at me and I'd get a little shimmy in the corner, right? My brother would get in the other corner because we were causing trouble, right? Well, we didn't want to have our seatbelts on because of that reason, right? There's a lot of you laugh because you understand that part of it. But now I can't imagine not wearing my seatbelt in my vehicle. Same thing with your UTV. It's not because you legally need to do it, it's because you should do it. A lot of the new machines, a lot of the top level machines, sportive machines, are coming with harnesses. All right, I never thought I wanted a harness until my machine that I bought had a harness in it. And I go, I can't believe not having a harness because it just really locks you in place. And yes, I did flip my machine over going 15 miles an hour and making a U-turn that I thought I could make, and I just gave her the bearings a little too hard, whoop, flipped her over, and I didn't move. My wife didn't move. My 8-year-old in the back seat didn't move because they're on their harnesses. Yes, I was a dumbass. Yes, my wife got her arm all rashed up, but everyone stayed in the cab. So I found that I like harnesses. I see how they work. They're not inconvenient, a bunch of extra apparatus. So I would strongly suggest, from my experience, having harnesses. There are safety features there. The machine behind us there has harnesses if you want to take a look after the fact. Some of the machines come with them, or they're all optional upgrades, but they are really, really nice. But I want to make sure you know, legally you have to have your seatbelt on. All right, and that's some of that at the conference last week. They were saying, we're going to watch for some stuff now. One was making sure that our riders are safe because we don't want to see you in the newspaper. All right. Hand signals. It's not waving at people, right? Everyone laughs. Like, hey, we got one behind us. Hi! Like, oh, new rider. All right? You're identifying yourself as a new rider when you wave. All right? But I did it too. I'm like, what the heck's that? Right?
But he's giving the peace sign.
So I want everyone to understand what hand signals are, because everyone's laughing, but there's probably 3 people say, huh? That's why you're here, all right? But so hand signals, when you're the leader, coming around the corner, and you have 3 people behind you, proper etiquette of the leader is putting 3 fingers out. Now there's a second side of this saying keep your hands on the wheels at all times. Okay, well, you can do whatever you want. This is what I do. This is not the rules. This is what my etiquette is. Putting your fingers out, give 3. That means there's 3 people behind you. If you're the leader and you have 3 behind you, okay? What that does is it alerts the person coming at you, and all the people coming at you, how many people are back there? And I am always the leader. It's awesome to be the leader. I get to go where the heck I want to go. Everyone follows me, and I'm never in the dust. The hard part about the leader is I got to know where I'm going, and I got to make sure I'm aware of all the traffic coming at me. All right? So when I see someone putting 3 fingers out at me, and I'm counting down, I go 1, 2, and I go, where's that last one coming? I know not to open it up yet. Because usually that last person who's way back there is usually a newer rider, and they're having a hard time keeping up, and they're not going to be ready for me if I am not aware and start opening up around the corner and come around the corner fast. So making sure that's what this means. So 3. So if you're in second in command, you give the 2. All right. If you're second to last, you give the 1, and if you're the last person, you give the fist. That means 0. That means opening up and go. You should do that for your own group. Sometimes if you're on a busy weekend, there's a couple more people behind you that are part of your group, they should be doing the same thing. You don't want to be responsible for anyone not in your group there. So hand signals says that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Not the wave. And we all get the wave, right? And I say, oh, that sucks for that person. That's what I think. Like, oh man, they don't know anything going on, right? But no one knows that until you get taught that stuff. This is not in the owner's manual of your new Razor. Right? There's no one teaching that stuff here, so I'm here to help you learn this stuff so when you get your new machine out there, like, I get it now. I'm not that waiver. Lights. Next step is lights. So legally now, in the state of Wisconsin last year, the law is you must have your lights on at all times. That was not a thing. Yes?
I have a question.
Yes.
So what happens when you got more than 5 behind you? Honest
Just keep your hand at 5. Yep.
So everybody just keeps
five.
going 5, 5,
Yep,
5.
5, 5, 5 until you're 4, 3, 2, 1. So
all right.
you just keep your hand at 5. Great question, Chad. I thought I was going to be a smart ass there. A reputation surge, Chad. I certainly know you there, okay? So yes, I did not cover that. Great question though. So you keep 5 out, and in my group, if you come to one of my meetups, and I got 25 behind me, I just go like this, and I kind of go, hey dude, you got a long wait behind you. I'll give him that, hey, there's 25 coming behind you. He's like, all right, give him that look.
So then you can wave, right? Because you got 5. Right?
Well, you want, right? That's what you should do. So lights are now a law, okay? Lights are now a law. You need to have them on. They're not always that way. I wasn't always this way, so a lot of people don't know that. And a lot of times, so part of my pre-ride huddle that I have before we ride every time is I go over some etiquette and I say, guys, make sure you put your lights on. It's not so you can see, it's so you can be seen. All right, make sure you turn your lights on so people coming at you can see you through the dust or through the trees. And really in the middle of summer, the middle of summer is the hardest riding I found, because that's when the forest is the densest. And you don't know what's coming around that corner. Right now is awesome. I can't wait to ride this weekend. You can see all the way through the woods. You'll see a set of headlights going. But you want to make sure your lights are on because you want to be seen. And I saw a couple of go, all right, we should have our lights on, right? Yeah, everyone goes, Then they jump in the machine, they go, and I go look at my mirror, go, that guy doesn't have lights on, was he listening or not, right? You gotta be cognizant of what you're doing, you gotta know your surroundings, and that's what happens is not all these machines you can keep your lights on. Now mine are blessed, okay, great, I turn it on low beam, and it stays on all the time. Some machines have it on the key switch, so you gotta turn your key on, ignition switch, car switch out, and you gotta turn it back one to make sure your lights are on. Right, those are the people I see who don't turn theirs on. All right. Yes?
So I know some riders who have older machines who don't have lights on them.
Yes.
They have now put lights on those machines.
Yes.
Does the strobe light count?
No. You need to have working headlights. Working headlights. That is the law there. But I'm just telling you the etiquette right now. Like you can go to the heck you want. I'm not the cops. I'm teaching you guys all that stuff. That whole report show. But I think if your machine doesn't have headlights on, you should trade it in. You do have a great trade-in program. Top dollar for your trade. It's paid for. Yeah, you should be right that. So lights do need to be on, but it's not, again, why do you need to have your seatbelt on? Because it's safety. Why do you need to have your lights on? So someone coming at you sees you. And make sure, you hate to say, well, have your pre-ride inspection before you get driving. You kind of need to think about that stuff. Yes?
Because I know this has happened to us.
Yes.
Personally riding, if you're not skipping any mud holes when you go through every one of them, every time you stop and check your headlights, because they will get completely covered.
Oh, yes, yes.
You cannot see them.
Yes, keep an eye on that with mud, Chris. Keep an eye on that with mud.
I just fell asleep, sorry.
Cover under mud there. Yes. So keep an eye on that stuff there. I'm going to touch on this. One of the things that we always talk about in our riding groups is that if you need to stop, a good thing to do because you don't have communication is flash your lights back and forth. And if the person in front of you is doing their job and watching their mirror to make sure you're together, if you flash your lights back and forth, that is code to like say I got a problem. Not everyone understands that, but I always make sure I talk to people about that. That's the only way you have an opportunity to talk to them, somewhat there through communication. But I also want to hit up on trail etiquette. So this is the meat and potatoes of today's event here. This is the stuff you kind of don't know what to do with. This is the stuff I've gotten into trouble rules for. This is where I've got the one finger salutes for most of the time. All right. Speed limits. So when it says 10 miles an hour, I'm going to translate that for you. That means, hey, we'll put up with ATVs here, but we're not that happy they're driving past my house out there. So they're going to be there. I want them going 10 miles an hour. You try to go 10 miles an hour? Yeah, what I do is I take my seatbelt off, because I got a limiter in there. I'm still going 14. No, going 10 miles an hour is really, really, really hard. It's like being in your car and going through a school zone. That's really, really hard. It takes a lot of discipline and understanding, and I say cognizance, knowing your surroundings. But the translation of speed limit 10 miles an hour means the people in that area will put up with us as off-road riders. But they're not that excited to have them around the house, and if they're going to be there, I don't want them flying past my house all day. All right? So the way I use that as an analogy, I love fishing. absolutely love fishing. I love fishing up on the floors up by Pops Resort. That's one of my places I go. And I love watercrafting. But when I'm fishing, I hate watercraft. And when I'm watercrafting, I go, God dang, fishermen, get out of my way. I want to go do some donuts. Think about that as if you lived on that section of trail or section of road that says 10 miles an hour, you're like, yeah, I like this stuff, but I sure don't like it by me all the time. So I want you to understand etiquette says, I'll put up with it, so don't be an a-hole. All right? Go close to that. I say go 20-ish miles an hour, stay off the gas, don't rev it up, all right? That's what that really means. That's so important to me because that right there, that sign is the one that gets trails closed, I found. Or roads closed, or whatever it is. We're done with it, we don't want you down this way. All right? That's what I found the most. So let me slow it down. Dust control zones. There's a couple dust control zones. One that I know really well. I know it really well because it's really hard to go that slow. It's on the railroad grade and in mountain, and it says dust control zone, slow. And then people have their homemade signs up saying slow down, slow down, slow down, right? And what they're saying is, I am so sick of cleaning dust off my car, my windows, my house, everywhere. It says slow down. They're the people who will close the trails down. And some areas they don't have the power to do so, but it's not good for our sport or our reputation. So that's what dust control zone means. And there's a couple of my areas that I go, oh yeah, I want to keep going here. All right, it's not always the dumbass kid who's doing it. All right, it's sometimes we're all those old dumbass kids, I find, right? Yeah, we just got bigger toys. All right, so dust control zone, and you'll see those signs, and there's a couple sections, and when you see the handmade ones, you know there's some people who really don't like that word riding there. All right, please understand them because I told you the fishing story, man. I love jigging for walleyes, but I hate when the jet skier goes by. But I hate the fishermen when I want to go jet skiing too. It's a reciprocating relationship right here. I talked about this last week, if you were here last week, about the maps. And we do have some maps up there if you want to grab some maps for the local areas here, and I know the clubs have some maps. One thing I want to share that was huge to me when I did my first workshop, I had Dan from Dusty Trails help me with it. He said, hey, one thing I want to tell you, there's all those numbers on the map, so these are brown numbers all on intersections. He goes, those are locating numbers. So if you're on the trails, and you come up to an intersection and there's a brown 3-digit numbers, you can grab your map and say, oh, that's where I am. He said it to me as his. Those numbers are so important, they will save your life. They will save your life, he said. He said, because if something happens and you need to call the 911, you can tell the Silver Cliff Fire Department exactly where you are. We said, I'm at number 437. Cool, they know how to get there. Now, I'm by that tree with the owl in it, by old man McGilligan's house, you know? No, so that is, I didn't know that. That was for you, Mikey. All right, but if you look on here, if you want to grab some maps, all those dots are usually at a corner of an intersection right here. And this is one of my favorite loops right here. This is the pipeline going around right there, but it shows you all the turn by turn. So you can say, hey, I'm at 437. If you want to talk to your friends, talk some numbers where you are right there. Those are locating numbers. And I didn't know that. I just thought there was big old numbers on the map. I just looking for where the bar number was. All right? Where's the number to the closest bar? That's what I want to know. I didn't know how to get there, so I use those brown numbers to get there. All right. So that's 3 to keep trail signs, and they also have business. So this when I did this presentation, I did this up in Crooked, or up in Lakewood at the schoolhouse. I just showed a couple places on there. 47 the schoolhouse, that's where I did mine. But those numbers on there, like if you look here, 49 is the gas station, 47 is the schoolhouse, all that. Those yellow ones on the Ocala County map are also locations. Why I want to talk about those locations on the map is those are sponsors of the map, sponsors of the club. Those are partners. If you can make an excuse on why to go, if you have to make a decision on which one to go to one that's on the map because they're the ones who are spending the money with the club and helping support. I can't stress enough, we need the clubs to be making all the trails, all right? Because I'm too busy raising a family, running the business, etc., that I can't be up there, so I want to make sure I'm supporting them financially or other way we can. And you can do that indirectly by supporting the businesses that support the clubs. So making sure you follow that. Ride command. That was last week's seminar, but I do want to let you know that you can upload Ride Command on your phone. We can go over some of this stuff later. I'm not going to do that today, but that is a great app if you want to know where you are. You can download a couple sections or buy a machine that's got Ride Command on it. If you buy a machine with Ride Command on it, I understand it really well. We have some flash drive, we can go over that stuff with you at a later point. But that is some awesome stuff. What I want you to know is that those tools are out there, you can learn them later. And I don't want you to buy a real cool ride command machine and only look at the radio station, all right? I want you to know the maps are all there, right? I see that happen a lot, so it's funny, but it's not. I don't know where I'm going, but I know I listen to some country music. It's only funny because it's true. Okay. Support the local clubs. I can't stress that enough. I touched it enough here. I'm here to support the clubs. Want to talk about what the clubs do for us, all right? Brad was talking at the groomers out right now. The trails are all groomed, we're ready to go. That takes effort work. Getting the groomer ready, taking the tracks out the groomer for the snow, all that stuff. They groom the trails. Don't complain to the clubs on Facebook about the trails being too bumpy. They know they might have stuff that's going on. They might not have enough groomer drivers. If you want to complain about it, go say, hey, can I drive the groomer? All right, don't complain. Complain with a solution. All right? Say, hey, your trails are bumpy. Can I help drive the groomer? Oh, I'd love to hear that if I was the club president. Not go out there and do some work so I can enjoy the sport. Right? These are not-for-profit. So they groom trails. They supply trail signs. The more these road routes are opening up, the more I cannot believe how much money these trail signs cost. All right? That's what a lot of these fundraisers do, is they try to just buy signs. So they supply the trail signs. What's that? Oh, sorry. They lobby for trail expansions. All right? They're the ones, when they say, they're the ones who go to the forestry department, the county, all that stuff, to make sure that we can get little sections opened up. We say, man, that'd be so nice if I could just get from here to there. And the businesses love the ambassadors getting those things open. Because if you can get to the restaurant or the bar now, because they did some boots on the ground stuff, we appreciate them. So they need that help, so that's what they lobby. Keep us informed. All right? Follow them on Facebook. They do a real good job telling us what's going on. If you, I have a separate Facebook page that's only Tom Winnebago, and that only follows ATV clubs in Wisconsin. And the second they said Oconto County trails open up, every group had that shared. It was really cool because that was our picture. But it said, it's awesome, opening. And they give you all the information you need. So they keep us informed. And they host riding events. They have a lot of cool stuff. If you're like saying, man, I got this awesome toy in the garage, I don't know where to go this weekend, go to the club's website, Facebook page, etc. Find out if they have something going on and make that a destination, because that's how they get the funds. And they like having participation, right? You guys meet each other all the time, once a month. You're kind of sick of seeing each other. You want some new faces at those events there. All right? So they host riding events. Make sure you try to sponsor or support them with your time and your money. And they have a lot of cool prizes and stuff like that going on. Notable clubs that I like, these are my couple riding. This is my back pocket clubs. These are the ones I use the most. Dusty Trails ATV Club. All right? They're the one in Oconto County. Red Arrow, they're north in Oconto County, in the Townsend. Done Good Riders we have here, they have that awesome loop. You can ride about 100 miles without any roads. If we go to Appleton Parking Lot and go up and loop around, it's an awesome loop. You can stop up and support some of the local establishments there. Iron Snowshoe, that's in Marinette County. That's the southern part of Marinette County. The Pemmy River Riders, I just talked to them today. They got a trail cleanup this weekend, and their trails are opening up. That's what works with the Four Seasons area there. They groom those trails. And Crooked Trails ATV Club, that's the Oconto County one. Along with the other local clubs right here. I just wanted to put these on here from up north. This is where the dirt trails are right there. But these are notable clubs. These are the ones that I use here. Not saying that there's not more out there. There's a ton of them out there. All right. How can you help them sign up for a membership? Financial donation. Just give them some money. I can't give you time, but I can give you money. Okay, that's better. I think they'd rather have the time than the money. But if you can't do it, give them some money to help support that there. Go to the cleanup days. When they have a small little event, go help them out. All right, I was at a cleanup day 2 weeks ago. It was pretty easy. All right, we had way too many chainsaws. We didn't have enough trees to cut. It was not that much work. It was just a fun reason to get out and help and be around the camaraderie of all the riders here. But go out and help them just by power and numbers. Attend the meeting. They're pretty fun. They're pretty interesting. They're not this corporate boring blah 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 talk. They're actually fun to be around. And really, it's why you're here tonight. It's about being around people that have a common interest. All right? And usually at a good restaurant or something, have a good steak for dinner and stuff like that. You know? And like and share on Facebook. So attend their stuff. That's like, you can't do that stuff. That's really freaking easy, right? That's all they're asking. to go and make some trails for us? Just go ride? That's easy stuff. That's all they're asking. Wisconsin UTV Association, click, click, click. Thing is, I made almost all I threw it, right? Thanks for that. Wisconsin UTV is Wisconsin UTV Association. Marilyn, can you help me with this? Yeah. Okay, so Wisconsin UTV Association, it's like the governing board of all ATV, UTV, all right? It's the big boys. That's Randy and his team. They do a good job, all right? They might have some stuff that happens that you don't like. Don't piss them more on Facebook about it, all right? If you don't like it, go do something about it. Join them, help them, find out more about it. But they do a great job for us. I cannot tell you enough of what the behind the scenes stuff they do. It's really freaking hard work they're doing, stuff that I don't want to. They spend more time in Madison at the Capitol than they do on the trails. And when they're on the trails, they're really working. They have their meetup, they have their tent up. They're not out and riding, unfortunately, and that's what happens in a lot of these clubs and establishments. They get together to ride, and then they find themselves just doing work all the time. And that's why they get a little burned out on it. So make sure you're understanding and support them. They do such a great job. Yes?
I just want to say, as far as Wisconsin Association, if you have any questions, make sure to call them. I spent 3 hours trying to figure out our raffle license. Getting passed around, I called these guys, and within 20 minutes, they found me somebody who actually knew what they were talking about. So, called the state, get passed around.
Yeah.
Called Wisconsin ATV Association, 20 minutes, I had answers.
They are a resource for everything. They do an awesome job. So support them. I've seen other states club associations. They're nothing like this. All right, Minnesota wants to be Wausau. All right, they were at the things and they're trying to learn how to be like Wisconsin. All right, that's cool. So what we covered today: safety, trail etiquette, maps, clubs. If you want some maps, you don't have Ride Command. Grab some maps up there. If you do have Ride Command, I still always carry a map with me because that's to look and see where I'm going as to where I am on the Ride Command. All right, I know a lot of people. We had a lot of people last week's session who want to know about Ride Command. So that's what's going on there. Does anyone have any questions that you didn't ask while we were sitting here? So, in closing, I want you to understand that whatever you're doing on the trails represents me. All right? That's why it's so important that you're out there doing what's good for our industry, because I want to keep enjoying our industry. So it's a personal thing, but it's also, if I win, we all win. So follow the small little things I told you. Join a club, get involved, all right? Keep riding, put 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 miles in your machine, stay involved in this industry, because it's such a fun industry. Once you're confident and you know what you're doing, you're not getting flipped off, and you're not being the wave guy, right? You got your lights on, you're not getting tickets. Those are all things that will really wreck your weekend. Those are all, yeah, it was cool, but, I want to get rid of some of those buts. That's my goal here. So, we got a couple things going on here, man. You want to get the raffle? Does anyone want to sign up for a raffle ticket? Yeah, get that done. Grab a beer, grab some ribs, etc. there, and we'll do some raffle pulls here. Is that 5 minutes? 5 minutes with some raffle pulls. All right. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Yes. Yes.